welcome. Hopefully this is working. I'll have to check. It says waiting for me still. We should be live. If we're not, that's okay. I'll say this for no good reason. Okay, yeah, we're going live. Hey everybody, what's up? It's Pat. So in these times of being locked indoors, I thought I'd do something a little different. I had one or two commenters bring up Dungeons and Dragons, which I mention in passing all the time. And somebody said, do a video on D&D. And I thought, I'll do you one better. My don't I do a live stream with my group? And this is them.
That go over really well.
Yeah. To my right here, we have Chris, aka Garbog. Then over there, next to him, we have Jones, the DM, the Dungeon Master. Below Ronnie James D10, which is John, who's played a myriad of characters in our campaign. My favorite being Longclaw. And then Paris, who is Aya. And so here we are. We have a couple of different topics of discussion. One was we thought we'd assign specific album records to the alignments, the 9 alignments. I thought maybe we could reminisce a little bit about just stuff that happened in the campaign. We could also just like shoot the breeze about whatever, including music, stuff we've been up to, how we've been trying to keep ourselves sane during this time, whatever else comes along. So I'd start off by saying John is my neighbor. He's been on my channel once before as a guest, a longtime friend. Part of the reason I bought my house because it's one house over from his. We've been hanging out playing D&D for a while now, like before this campaign got started, like not quite a decade ago, but close, like 8 or 9 years ago, I think. So we've been in the trenches for a while together there.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
We played in Boston too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think that's what he's talking about. Like when I lived in Somerville. Yep.
So, and this campaign's been going. Okay, I'm just checking the YouTube. I don't want to screw that up. Okay. So let me see here. Just want to make sure I'm seeing any. I have comments that can pop up on my side. So what I can do is it's like a pop-up video thing. When the comments are interesting, I can put them on there. But cool. So I've known Paris for a while. I've known everybody here for a bit. I guess as a beginning topic of conversation, like how's everybody been? You know, how's everybody surviving in this COVID apocalypse?
Who wants to take that one?
Who wants to start?
Poorly.
I'll go first. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good enough. Shitty, I guess. I don't really know.
Okay.
I get to work from home, so that's cool. It's also miserable at the same time. So that's fun. My significant other is a healthcare worker, so she has to go to work. So that's cool for her, but also stressful. So we're doing all right.
I hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Or not, it is what it is. I mean,
like we both have an income right now, which is try to not to take that shit for granted. So we're
absolutely.
Doing all right.
Yeah. So and Paris, you were in Greece when all this shit happened and made it home.
Oh yeah, sure was. I should probably go last because that's a long one.
Okay. Yeah, Jones, how you holding up there in New Hampshire? Everything all right?
Yeah, we're fine. We just are trying to keep our roller skate store afloat.
Yep.
It's actually it's a great time to go roller skating. It's one of the only things you can do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So that's good. But, when we run out of the cheap ones that everyone's looking for come from Asia, and so that dried up. So once that, once there's no more roller skates to be had, that'll be interesting.
Damn.
But I don't know. We're fine.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I'm hanging in there. I recently became TV or no. I don't know. I'm trying to make an Edward Furlong joke because I just got furloughed, basically. I'm Edward.
Furlong.
Yeah, I was gonna make a T2 reference, but my brain failed me.
Hasta la vista, Ronnie.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Suck.
Yeah, sorry,
whatever.
dude.
I mean, it is what it is, but I'm hanging in, going a little stir crazy, climbing the walls,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
whatever. So is everybody else.
Yeah. What have you guys been like? I find that I've been like trying to supplement my like nerd, like my nerd needs that have been taken away from me since I've, the lockdown started by like, I've been playing a ton of like shitty turn-based RPGs, like on my phone. And like, I've been playing the Elder Scrolls mobile game Blades like crazy.
Oh, word, yeah.
And like stuff like that. Like I've just been
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm like, I still need to like, I don't know, like cast a fireball now and again, like what this will have to do, like that kind of thing. Has anybody like, I guess like, what have you, I mean, the big thing is like everybody watching tons of streaming and playing video games. Like, is there anything in particular you guys have been into to just pass the time as far as that stuff goes?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can do this and I'll get to my fucking crazy Grease story.
Oh yeah,
I've been
gift you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a lot of me fucking talking for a while, so we can wait to get there. But no, I have gotten heavily into Dungeon Synth. That has been like the thing that is, I don't know, taken over my attention because I attended the Northeast Dungeon Siege.
Yeah.
And that was, I gotta say, like, this is gonna sound real lame, but that shit gave me hope. Like, I was happy, having a good time. I've never had so much fun typing in a fucking comment section on Twitch in my whole life. It was so good. I mean, the performances were great. The music, of course, was fabulous. It was just it was a really positive experience. Probably the most positive thing that's happened while I've been sort of quarantined. So, I guess rather than playing RPGs, listening to the music of RPGs is what I've been doing a lot of.
Nice.
And I have been playing D&D via Roll20 with my secondary and tertiary campaigns, but the primary campaign, y'all are my heart, but we haven't been able to play. So, yeah.
So before we go into other people's stuff, like, I'm sorry for usurping that from you. Like, what happened in Greece? Like, was Concilium supposed to be playing, or were you just over there for the fest?
No. So basically, like, I'll try not to make this too long, but so I'm in Concilium, and me and one of my guitarists, Noah, we had planned to go to Up the Hammers Festival in Athens this year. Because it was a spectacular lineup. Like, Scald was fucking playing, and like a bunch of bands that we'd never see otherwise, that would never come to the US. And so we went because the lineup was great, but also because we wanted to network and we wanted to play the festival next year. So it was so it was a bunch of things. It was like, great fest, we also want to schmooze, and then third thing was like, hey, Athens, we've never been to Greece, like, that's great. So we made this plan, and ultimately it ended up being me, Noah, and his then girlfriend, who all went together. And it was just like a series of unfortunate events the whole time. It was just like ridiculous. So, he had gotten into the country a couple of days before me because he was climbing Mount Olympus, which is rad as fuck. So he climbed Olympus, but like, even his trip to Olympus was kind of like not what it was supposed to be. He didn't get to do the highest peak. There was a shit ton of snow. They had to change plans, blah, blah, blah. But he, did it anyway. And then that they were in Thessaloniki for that. So then they meet up with me in Athens a couple days later. When I was by myself in Athens, it was kind of nice. I sat in the sun and read a Malazan book, and it was glorious, beautiful weather.
Which one?
I'm on book 4 right now. So I'm about 700 pages in, so I'm almost done.
Is that Dead House?
Yeah, Dead House Gate. No.
Okay.
Yes. Dead House Gates? No. Yes. Yes. I don't know why I can't think of the fucking title,
It's
but
been
yeah.
a million years. I jumped ship in that series anyway, though. So
I
didn't
know.
make it that far. I think I made it to the third Mollison
I'm
book.
a little obsessed.
Too many
Caladan,
I didn't even catch that.
Caladan Rouge.
I didn't even catch that. Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I love the series, and I also love this band. But yeah.
Have they
So
fallen yet?
what?
Sorry. Nothing. Never mind.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. No, so like the beginning of the trip was fine, like they meet up with me in our Airbnb and, whatever. The next day we decide, oh, let's do some tourist stuff because it was Wednesday and the fest was going to start on Thursday. So we're like, all right, let's do some tourist stuff. So we walk around the city, we go to like the city gardens and see some temples and stuff. And it was kind of shitty weather, but we still had a good time. And then later that night, we were supposed to meet up with our friends in Smolder because they were playing the fest, and we've been like buds with them online, but had never met in person because most of them live in Canada. So this is kind of when things start getting weird.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, they were like, okay, we're having dinner. Oh, that's right. We were supposed to go on like a tour with Crip Sermon, but they canceled before Wednesday. I think maybe they canceled on Tuesday because they were like, we're not going to Greece because it's the pandemic, and we unfortunately had traveled like before shit had really hit the fan. So anyway, so that was canceled, and we're like, all right, but the dinner was still on with Smolder and some other people who were there. So they're like, all right, meet us at 8:45 at our hotel. So we walk across the city. We're like walking up to the hotel, and I'm like, there's no lights on in that hotel. It doesn't look open. So we walk up to the door. The doors are literally chained shut with giant chains. And there's a sign that's like, we're closed. Sorry for the inconvenience. So I'm texting Sarah from Smolder, and I'm like, your hotel is shuttered. Where are you? And she was like, oh, we're over here, like this other part of the city. So we're like, okay. So we meet with them, and they're like, yeah, we didn't even realize that they had to change our hotels at the last minute. And we're talking to them, and we're all like, it was like them, the organizers of the festival, the guy that runs the New Wave of Traditional Heavy Metal channel on YouTube, and like it's just like a bunch of people, and we were all talking about, what's the festival going to be like, and now that so many bands have canceled, and it was like, well, they're planning on having some people do extra sets or play longer or whatever. So then we all, we're all still hopeful that everything is going to still happen the next day. We all go to the Underground, which is a metal bar like across the way, have a great fucking time. We're partying. It's like 4 a.m, and we all get the message that we're up, at that point that we're all trapped in Europe. And I was just like, well, we were just like, I don't know, time to get fucking destroyed because life is meaningless. So, we all like did our own thing, had a great time in various ways. And then the next day woke up and was like, okay, we got to figure out like what the fuck's going on. And we're all Googling, trying to figure out if we can really fly back home or not. And then we see that the festival is canceled. Mm-hmm. And we're just like, okay. And at that point, we weren't sure when we could come back, if we could come back. We finally determined, like, well, we're U.S. citizens, so it looks like we can get back, but I don't know, it still might be a little dicey. And we make the decision to just leave kind of when we were planning on Sunday night, because it was going to be too difficult to try to get back any earlier than that, because people were just like swarming the airport, and it was just disaster. Sure. And we were like, we don't really know what's going on. And then sure enough, basically all we did was just keep going to that underground metal bar, and then we made friends with some Germans and hung out with them at their Airbnb, and they were super cool. So we basically just kind of partied and did some sightseeing for a few days because we didn't have anything else to do. Then it was like my flight home got canceled. They were just like, no, good luck. So I was scrambling on my phone in the middle of the night in like a park in Athens, like trying to get a flight. And I did, thankfully. I ended up getting actually on the same flight as Noah, which was great. But it was just a lot of weird shit. Like, we did a bunch of tourist stuff on Wednesday and Friday, and then that was lucky because they shut down everything on Saturday. So luckily, we were like able to go to the Agora and like, all these places and see stuff. So that was cool. Like I said, we made friends and met a lot of nice people, and that was good. But it was it was weird because while we were there, it didn't, even though all of this stuff was happening, it didn't feel as serious as it ultimately ended up being by the time we got home, you know? And then when we got home, we were very underwhelmed by the, like, I don't know, check-in procedure or whatever to the US. It was like, we were thinking we were going to get pulled into rooms and quarantined and have our temperatures taken. No, that's not what happened at all. They were like, hey, did you have contact with anyone with COVID? Do you have any of these symptoms? No. All right, sick. Good luck.
Literally sick.
They were like, cool, stay home for 2 weeks, I guess. Shrug. And it was just like,
honor system.
Yeah, did not inspire confidence coming back home. So that was that. Honestly, yeah, it was yeah, would not recommend traveling, during pandemic. But again, when we left on March 7th or whatever, or 8th, I forget, like, it just did not seem, because, like, I was with all of you guys the day before, remember? Like,
I know. That was weird.
We were like, we were all together, and it didn't feel like that, you know?
It was weird. Like, as I was leaving that photo shoot, it was kind of strange because I had it in my head, like, I knew the looming pandemic thing was like ramping up and that something was going to happen. And I tend to be an ostrich when it comes to stuff like that. Until it's like right in front of me, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But as I was leaving, I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, interesting how we were doing a photo shoot for a friend's band where we all pretended to be dead on the ground. And now there's this pandemic looming. And then like a week later, I was like, I hope that wasn't prophetic of anything to me personally.
Yeah, Jesus.
We were more just like a week on. We were like, wow, imagine if we had postponed that another week. That would have been fun.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just like, the timing was interesting.
Chris is in a band called Malleus, by the way, who are an excellent black metal band from Boston as well. So yeah. Any other comments on just entertainment or games or anything? Are you done? I'm sorry, Paris. Was that pretty much the whole thing? I know you quarantined for like 2 weeks and you were fine and stuff. Was there?
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of other little stories from there, but I won't dominate the discussion. I will say though that, like Noah and I were quarantined for 2 weeks. I mean, the funny thing about that is that we live in the same building. So like, I live up here, Noah lives on the second floor, and then our bassist and her husband live on the first floor. So we all live in the same building, but we still all, are keeping our distance from each other. And I mean, I really truly feel like there's no way in hell that Noah and I didn't get it, given the fact that we were just like in a sea of Europeans drinking and, people carrying on as they do at metal festivals. I just feel like there's no way that we could have not gotten it, but neither of us had symptoms. But apparently that's quite common where you could have it and not be symptomatic.
Oh yeah. Like I said, cause I'm a healthcare professional myself, and like I've encountered it enough and felt a little off, like slight symptoms where there's no conceivable way that I haven't had it at some point. I just recovered. It just, if it's, we know it's extremely communicable, so like there's logically no way that I haven't like at least been a carrier or something at some point, but
yeah. So
there's been a lot of cases at your work too. So I mean,
but I don't want to say where I work, but yeah,
totally. No worries.
Yeah, I mean, but like, luckily, I'm lucky enough to be able to work from home. Kind of echoing what Spriker had said. Like, it's just luckily I can work from home. I can stay inside. I mean, it's driving me fucking crazy being inside all the time because I can't do any of the physical things that I'm used to doing. But yeah, I mean, it's still, like you were saying, it's thankful to have a source of income, and for however long this lasts, who knows? I work for a place that's like, I mean, we think it'll be cool for a while, but I'm skeptical because I work for a place that's like, we take donations from individuals. So I think that people are considering so many people don't have a lot of extra income and won't for a long time. I do worry about how long my job will last, but
Yeah. Similar concerns with my wife Amanda's job as well, just because of how it affects everything. But I don't want to get too down that rabbit hole. Aaron Jibo asked, "Are we playing a game or just chatting D&D?" We're just chatting D&D. We're going to reflect on the campaign probably a little bit. Jones there, the DM, writes his own modules. How long have you been doing that for, Eric?
So 10 years ago, I put out 3.
Okay.
Just for fun. Like I was like, I get really into the prep, and I was like typing just this. In this case, I was like typing it on a computer, and I was like, I'm like half done. Like if I just like correct the grammar and like add some drawings, like put that out. And so I did, in my opinion, like they're kind of shoddy. Like 10 years ago was before 5th edition, so I was writing for what's called the old school Renaissance, and it was just everyone that hated the current version of the game. A lot, like literally thousands of people were going back to like the original edition or first edition or second edition, which are all
4th edition suck.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, so that drove a lot of people to the older editions. So I was writing for that. So they're basically compatible with like the 70s, early 80s version. And so I even felt like I could do like the art didn't have to be good because that like fit the vibe or whatever. So like I just cranked those out, and then they actually did pretty well. Like literally someone bought one yesterday.
Nice.
Really?
They're 10 years old, so I have it set up so I get a little email notice. But it's been like a steady trickle for the whole 10 years, and so about off and on, I'd like go back to work on stuff, and then I don't know, like 2 years ago, I was like, I want to really like try hard, and so I'm like revamping the 3 that are out, and then I have another 3 books like half done as well. So it's taking forever. But I'm doing like my best with the art, and making sure the design is like right, and just putting out really polished professional 6 books. But it's going to take me a long time.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
really right now is the 10. I mean, is the 3 ones from 10 years ago that are left-handed.
It's really impressive. Like, I like the stuff that you bring up like during sessions on your iPad and stuff. Like I was just going through my shit, and you drew the Abrigan, right? The guy that possessed my wizard, that weird demon. Yeah, that shit's horrifying.
Yeah, dude, like your art it always blows my mind when you're just like, oh, I don't know, I just whipped up this, like, I don't know, it's not done yet, but like you show us and we're like, holy fuck, that's fucking professional level, like brilliant illustration. And you're like, I don't know, it's like some more shading, maybe it should be more evil. I'm just like, Jones, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I get pissed at I'm a harsh critic of myself.
Yeah, I'm the same way, I get it.
Aren't we all? But I don't know if you guys want to start with the alignment stuff, or you want to talk about some campaign highlights, or pretty free flowing kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was reviewing what happened in the campaign today, just rereading it because there's so much. It seems like the worst shit happened to my wizard when I wasn't there, and he wasn't.
Oh my god! Yeah,
days to show up.
Trying to keep from choking with the cloth soaked in fucking urine for some reason. Like,
oh yeah, that was beer piss.
Yeah,
that was her idea.
Yeah, thanks.
Also, I read.
Sorry.
In Paris's
defense, I contributed to that a little bit too. Like, weren't we talking about like how the theory is that if you get stung by a jellyfish, if you pee on it, you neutralize the toxin? Like,
Yeah,
folk
wisdom, right?
Yeah, but there's also I read later, and I kind of felt bad because it like vindicated you guys. Was there is some contagion or something where like ammonia is helpful. So like people would soak rags in urine and wear them.
Wait,
and
wait, we were redeemed?
No.
It only works for that one thing.
Then the next time we play somebody, that's going to be I as like a go-to. We don't have a healer, so what do we do? Oh, we'll waterboard you with urine.
I think it's a very specific thing that it barely helps for. So
I did love that. I forget it. I think it was John who was like, that really sounds like an album. Like, this is Fear Piss. Off of our Take You Easy, Fear Piss.
Fear Piss, like a D-beat band.
Yeah, and then you came up with some other song titles.
Just Fear Piss.
Fear the piss. Fear the piss.
Oh my God.
So Pat comes back after missing a session. It's like, so Bizbaz has a piss-soaked rag in his mouth.
But it's a good thing.
Yeah,
it was trying to help you.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I think for clarity too, we should tell everybody that like the type of D&D that our campaign sort of devolved into, or just naturally took the form of, is like R/X-rated violent slapstick comedy. That would be like the genre, right? I mean,
X-rated preface that
comedy.
I want to set that up. So normally, I think like a lot of DMs, especially like older ones, whatever. I'm 41. Like are can be like real retentive about the setting or whatever, and I'm no exception. So like my normal preference is like super vanilla, and so were we all like together in the beginning and like talking it through, I'd be like, okay, humans, elves, dwarves, like that's it, nothing crazy. I don't like all this new tieflings and wang doodles and whatever. So that would have been my normal preface, but instead we made characters like separately, and I didn't care really, but that's just my inclination. But then I think I heard about John's initial character, and it was a little crazy, but he was a human, so that was fine. And then I heard about Pat's character, which is an awesome concept. I'll let him explain it. But it was still a human, so I was like, crazy humans, I'm fine. Well, like we're cool. And then we got like a half giant and an air genie. And mix that with the crazy people, and then I think John maybe felt very out of place or what. I don't even know what the impetus was, but he just made a lizard man to like gel more, maybe. And
yeah, because we were a band of fucking
just
monsters.
Took a step back, and it was just like the monsters or whatever, and it was just not. The Lord of the Rings at all. It was like, the bad guys in Space Jam or whatever. Like it was just like a bunch of weirdos.
I think the reason was that Volo's guide had just come out, I think, and so that's what opened up the rules for like monstrous races. So all right, I was like, cool. I want to do something like this. Like, I don't want to be a boring human. So is it cool if I play a lizard folk? Yeah,
and by the first session, like the ship had left the dock, so I was like, if there's one thing I like more than like just vanilla old school Dungeons and Dragons, it's being super flexible and like rolling with whatever. Yeah. So within that first session, and especially those early sessions, I was like, very quickly, I was like, okay, this is like the Dirty Dozen or whatever, Suicide Squad, whatever, that, more that way, anti-heroes or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I just kept thinking of Dukes of Hazzard, just because we kept doing dumb shit and having to run away from stuff. It's like, we're going to jump the General Lee over Ironwood Gorge again? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I love like we weren't trying to be assholes. It's just what we naturally were. Like it's just the decisions we made.
It's just dice rolls. It's just dice rolls.
Yeah.
I think that's more customary to Dungeons and Dragons. I think there's this like platonic Dungeons and Dragons that everyone thinks of, where there's like, you know, a handful of heroes and they accomplish things and like win and whatever. And then the like real life version, 80% of the time at least, is just mayhem and idiocy. So that part's normal, I feel like. But when you add the fact that the party is a bunch of monsters or whatever and crazy people, then it amplifies how stupid.
Yeah, should we maybe explain all the main characters in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we could give an overview. I'll start. My character's name is Bizbaz, which was one of those like back of my mind things. I forgot that there's a local market that sells knickknacks down here in Salem called the Bizarre Bazaar, and
that's like a thing.
That's right. That's where that came from.
People call it all over the place.
I just had it in the back of my mind, and I was like, I forgot that's what it was, like the abbreviated name for it. And I was like, I'm going to name my wizard Bizbaz for some reason because my memory's shoddy the older I get. But I based him partially off of Ric Flair, partially off of David Lee Roth, partially off of Dusty Rhodes. He's like a crazy flamboyant, like long blonde hair, like wizard that wears like the sequined like robes with like moons on them and shit, like real stereotypical. And because I can't role play, and I actually role playing is the least favorite part of D&D for me. I go back and forth between all these differences that are all equally ridiculous. It's just, I don't know, like a bad Dusty Rhodes lisp, and then like something that's more along the lines of like Rudy Ray Moore, and then kind of like Eric Stoner. Like I don't have any idea what I'm doing, and it's awesome. But he's definitely got into some trouble. It's fun.
I mean, your character's also routinely on drugs. Like, there have been times where you're like, I drop acid and go into this battle, and we're like, great, sick.
I forgot about that. Like, his best finds like these weird mushrooms to the Undertaker. It's like, great.
Yeah, there was
who can cast Fireball is now balls. Like, not wise.
He definitely ate mushrooms in the second session.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's shady characters.
But then we have Garbog. Garbog's another loose cannon, you know.
Yeah. I played Garbog. Garbog the Relentless, formerly Garbog the Sniffer. He's a
I mean, you're
rogue.
He's
a halfling rogue who was like, halfling rogue who was a former circus wrestler performer, face turned heel because he got brain damage, and he also has Crohn's disease. He shits his pants a lot, but not anymore. He's cured. He's cured of Crohn's disease, which is good. And he has brain damage, and he's in search of his arch nemesis, the Wolf Who Walks, who doesn't exist.
The Wolf Who Walks. That's right.
It was actually.
I do have a drawing of it, and it's actually a character that I created a long time ago. I mean, we're going back like it's 2020 now, so we're talking like Garbog has existed to me for 17 years or something like that, which is really funny. Wow. Yeah, he was created when a buddy of mine had a roommate who in the early 2000s was he looked like Gimli from Lord of the Rings, and he was into cosplay and shit way, like well before it was like very socially acceptable to be into that type of stuff. And I think my friends and I were drunk and we were idiots, and we like went into his room one day when he wasn't home. We tried on a lot of his costume shit, and he had a wolf mask and he had some other armor. And so my buddy and I had this epic battle of Garbog the Relentless versus the Wolf That Walks. We have pictures, and some of them my brother is in them, and he has his penis is out for some reason. I don't really know why, but anyways, so yeah, we got that, and then Garbog just sort of well, back in the day, Garbog's like weapon of choice was a croquet mallet, but that doesn't really work anymore. So yeah, that's how that got created. I came into the campaign late. Well, not late, but like after a couple sessions, because I played
same.
in an earlier campaign, I played in the campaign right before that. John was DMing with Pat and Amanda and one other guy, and then you all started the Jones World campaign, and I came in after like 1 or 2 sessions, and I don't remember exactly how it was presented to me, but it was sort of like, okay, this is like the tone of the campaign and shit like that. And I played a very ridiculous character in that original campaign. Chad, who was the son of a baker and an alcoholic, tripped every trap that John put up on purpose, which was great. So my whole attitude coming into it was like, I saw these like this cast of fucking maroons in the Jones World thing, and I was like, all right, how can I just like, I gotta just like, what can I do to just either match the tone or just take it up a notch or something like that? And just Garbog is a disaster of a disgusting creature. So anyways,
that must be, I mean, I'm sure there's probably other characters in D&D that people have imagined up that have Crohn's disease, but maybe not.
Like loose cannon with loose bowels is the tagline, right, for Garbog.
We got ambushed. I remember in one of the sessions we got ambushed in like a canyon or some shit like that, and there was like Garbog purposely shit his pants and like ran through the melee, and I rolled a successful something check to convince people that I was scared that there was a dragon that was coming, and they smelled my shit and they saw it trailing behind me and so forth, and some of the enemies ran away as a result and so forth.
Yeah, I remember that now.
That was brilliant. Yeah.
Don't underestimate, a good load in your pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sells it,
I remember being so surprised and happy that actually came into use. Like, I was like, when is this ever going to be helpful? And like...
I mean, and the counterpart of that is that he's a fucking terrible rogue because he smells awful all the time.
Yeah, he's really hard to sneak up on people when you reek.
Oh yeah, how can you be stealthy when you? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and you're farting all the time, and like your intestines are eating themselves and stuff. It's just like
farting all the time. I'm trying to remember like specifics. I mean, there's so much shit that happened during the. It was a couple of sessions after we got off the pirate ships. And we were in that one town, and what happened exactly? We unleashed Cohaffering. Yeah, we unleashed that blast of like arcane like wild magic and just like destroyed the town. And we were like, I guess we should go.
Yes, we're gonna go, dude. I just remember me and Pat going, never blow out the Eastern candle. Don't do it. Listen to Absu, and then like Paul did it anyway, the half giant, and we were like, oh God.
Yeah. Yeah,
for the town.
Listen, don't blow out that candle.
Don't blow it out. Fuck.
It made me think of Bender from Futurama when he's like, cheese it.
Yeah.
That
seems to be like the whole MO for this group is that we just go into these locations, we have an objective, we bungle it in some way, we kind of halfway pull it off, maybe, but in a way that unleashes some form of chaos in another way, and then we book it before we get caught.
Yeah,
they're like a reverse A team.
Yeah.
I feel like the lizard people
team over here. Jesus,
the G team.
Yeah,
the whole lizard people thing. That whole arc like worked out pretty well. Like
that actually went okay. I think.
It's true.
Like we fought.
I think you accomplished more things than you think.
Well, I like that. I like that it's. I mean, Jones, I know you were like, I usually like to play a really vanilla campaign, but what I really like about the campaign that we've kind of created is that it's like a little more realistic in a way, at least in the way that things shake out, because it's not always like, oh, you're the heroes and everything went really well. Like, it's often like, you guys are wanted, like, fuck you. Like, you fucked up. Like, Jones will be like, yeah, you guys just fucked up. And we're like, God damn. Like, I think that Jones is a great DM, and he'll give us some chances and let us get away with some stuff. But there are definitely times where he puts his little DM foot down and he's like, nah, y'all fucked up. So it's like a nice, it's unpredictable. I feel like I'm always really surprised by like what we encounter and what happens, and I don't know, it makes it more enjoyable. Like it's not always a black and white, like you versus the bad guys. It's a little more gray, and that's what I really like about it. So,
well, what I like is that there are so many people gunning for us now because of
Yeah.
all of our bad decisions or bad roles or whatever. Like, there's the Artaparth Trading Company.
Yep.
Not happy with us. The Weirding sisters, those three witches.
Not happy.
Yeah. Now
we killed one of them, right?
Yeah, there's
one
two.
right?
Yeah.
That one.
Okay.
One's dead.
Yeah.
The giant like corpse colossus, right? That we unleashed on the world.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry
There's
about that.
a djinn that we accidentally cursed. That's real pissed.
That was my fault. Sorry, everybody. Like I didn't know.
Accidentally cursed.
I didn't know it was a fucking accident. I had a ruby. I was trying to thank someone. The ruby was cursed, unbeknownst to me or anyone in the party. And Jones just was like, "Yeah, if you want to give him that ruby, I guess that's fine." And I was like, "Why? What's wrong with the ruby? Like, I'm just gonna give this. This is great. It's a great gift." And Jones was like, "Yeah, it's a good one."
Don't forget Terry the demon, who's really cool with all of us.
Oh,
Terry.
Terry is cool with all of us, dude.
Jesus Christ! I
Hey.
forgot about Terry.
Garbog maintains that Terry is his best friend.
Did we kill that thing, or did it get like banished or something like that? I can't remember if we actually took it out or if we just like had to like banish it.
It didn't sell us. It gave us into slavery, and then we like bashed our way out of it.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Garbog.
Yeah.
And we like somehow got teleported out of the demonic plane or whatever the fuck we were in. And
you were so mad. You were so mad that he sold you off because you desperately wanted to serve him.
Yeah.
Garbog
true.
loved that.
We haven't gotten a plane in a while, and I talked to you about we're ready to like level up, and I just have never done it on my character sheet or whatever. But I was going to multi-class as a rogue warlock and then take on Terry as my deity.
Oh my God! Oh,
Yeah, we're doing that. We're doing
Christ.
that.
Oh,
We
that's
connected
amazing.
forever, man.
Yeah.
I'm not giving that up.
Let me see if I have Terry.
Oh yeah, you had a pretty good drawing.
How you acquired Terry? Like we were in what were we doing? We were in some situation where we had to like get out of town quick, and you were sneaking around, and you just decided to like break into somebody's house and steal shit out of their house.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
steal this jar that has like this
A three-headed like imp in it
Dude,
or whatever.
it was so random. Like I can't
Yeah.
believe Jones was prepared for that situation where Spraker would break into a house randomly. And I remember we were like, "Come on, dude! Like we're on a timeline." He's like, "Let me just break into this house." We're like, "Fucking why?"
Yeah.
That's great.
But then, we were in the middle of a battle on some bridge. We're trying to get out of the. We were at like a dark and under.
Like the
no,
Underdark.
We were in the Underdark.
Yeah.
Like,
Trying to get out. We were trying to escape through some like lava tubes or some shit like that, and then we're in some fucking bridge. Shit was going bad, and so Garbog just fucking let Terry out, and then Terry like plucked us all up and took us somewhere else.
Ooh,
It was a tiny jar, had like a little black three-headed imp inside that was like anxious to get out, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's an interesting item," and you were just like, "I wonder what," but like, and then it was like at the end of a session, so like we're all done, we're like packing up, and we're like, "All right, guys, that was a good one. We'll see you next." And you're like, "One more thing," I just opened the tiny demon bottle and let the demon out, and I was like, okay.
I think I have a big memory of screaming for that not to happen. I think I was like, no, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what it is. And fuck
you gotta fucking spice life up sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just like
no, it was funny. It was fun.
I'll try a screen share because I think I have Terry up.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
I think I have to approve it. Let's see if it works.
Trying to remember some other like dumb shit that happened. I mean, there's so much dumb shit though. Like I don't even know. It's
there's Terry. Can you see
dumb shit?
Can you see Terry?
Nope.
Not yet.
No, nothing's popped up yet.
All right, forget it. I'm gonna.
No, so I remember when I was testing this earlier, I forgot that it's like a 2-step process. It's not a 1-step. So you click share and then you choose what screen. Sorry, it's 3 steps. You choose what screen and then you click share. So
I'll do it like my mom would do it.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to show you my album alignment thing.
Yeah, there we go.
You should. Do you guys want to start on that in a minute and talk about the alignment stuff?
sure.
Sure, yeah.
keep it going.
I was kind of thinking beforehand. I was like, telling people about your D&D campaign is kind of like telling people about a dream you had.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
it's a limited appeal.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't imagine
Weirdos
anyone.
talking about inside jokes.
You're right.
Yeah. It's like,
Well, the one thing I think people will appreciate though is when I heard Pat's like character concept, I was like, all right, someday he's gonna need like a nemesis. And I was very excited to pay it off. And I was like, I'm gonna make a pirate lord that's like a cross between Sammy Hagar and Hulk Hogan.
That's right. That's right.
I was like, who would be the foil to this guy, the perfect foil? And I was like, Sammy Hagar and Hulk Hogan.
yeah.
I was like, that guy sucks. I can't wait till they kill him.
and then it happened, and it was beautiful. Oh yeah, we didn't finish going through what our characters were though. I don't think John or I.
I did my best to like monologue, but I'm just not that guy.
That's fine.
I tried to like, like I couldn't pull it off. But
Oh yeah,
it was
John.
still fun. That was very exciting.
John has like 7 characters though, so this might be hard.
Well, I mean, I can just tell you about my characters like really, really quickly. I mean, they're not like, so I mean, like kind of in keeping with like Jones's sort of like initial, vanilla type world or whatever. Like I made this like Ranger character based on actually based on a character out of the First Law series. Like if people have read like The Blade itself or, other books in that series, like there's a character called the Dogman. And it's been a while, but since I read it, but I think like Dogman, like one of his like claims to fame is that, he doesn't even know his name and they call him the Dogman because he like has like this, really acute sense of smell. And he's kind of like, he just, at least in my estimation, he kind of like lends himself to be like, yeah, this dude's a ranger. This dude's a really good ranger. So I made like a ranger based off of that dude and just called him the Dogman. And then like I was saying, like, then like Volo's Guide to Monsters came out, I think. And I was like, I want to play like a monstrous creature. And, there's already some monsters in the party. And Dogman just felt too like kind of stale by comparison to the rest of the crew. So I talked with Jones about, can I make a lizard folk? So I made this lizard folk dude named Longclaw. And one of the things that was, sort of like spelled out in the Volo's Guide to Monsters is that they're like lizards, so they have like this alien mind that, it's not like dwarves or elves or anything like that. So like the way that I played him was like, he was this socially inept, just didn't understand it. Like my role-playing style was always like Longclaw gives you a look that to him means something unique. But to you, it's the same look that he always gives, shit like that.
Yeah, dude, I loved the way you played Longclaw because it was you referred to halflings as like.
He thought Garbog was a small child. It's
like children.
A halfling, So he didn't realize that he was a halfling. He was like, "You are a hatchling. You are a small child." And then I had that weird Longclaw version of like Morse code that like. I think some of you started to figure out what some of the blasts, because he had like this Jurassic Park style, like Jurassic Park 3 raptor call kind of thing.
Yeah.
Conch shell kind of whatever. And there were all these like Morse code blasts that he would do that he was just like, yeah, my party, my new tribe, they understand all this. And you guys were like, we don't know what the fuck this guy's doing at all. I was like, yeah, I know. That's what makes it great. Reason I stopped playing Longclaw was because I kind of went a little multi-class crazy with him. I was like, okay, he's gonna be a ranger, but he's kind of like this primal character. So then I dipped into barbarian. So he was like this ranger barbarian, and I did that for a while. And then when we got to the events of like finding the lizard folk civilization, where Longclaw stepped up and challenged their leader.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty tight. And he went through all this rigmarole. And then when I leveled up, I was like, okay, I think what would make sense, because this is all something that has to do with, like championing the god Semuanya and all this other stuff. I was like, I think it makes sense for him to go cleric, you know, like rather than like level up in one of his existing. So I took like a couple levels in cleric, and then I'm just like, I don't know how to play this anymore. There's so many mechanics. It's just so then I just worked out a thing where it was like, okay, Jones, what if I just like scrapped him, because it also story-wise made sense. Longclaw sticks around and leads the tribe of lizard folk that live in this abandoned elven city that's thousands of years old. And so that's when I made Demordred, who is a Shatterkai elf arcane archer. And he's like Captain America, like found in like a D&D equivalent of like a cryogenic tube or whatever. So he's like thousands of years old. So there was like this whole there's this whole backstory to him that we started I think in some of our last games we started to get into, where it's like Demordred knows some of the things about the ruins that we're all investigating because he was around before they were ruins.
Right.
So so that's kind of like an interesting sort of like twist or whatever. So just playing like a weird, like trying to keep it weird that way, and plus arcane archers are awesome. They're just like my idea for him was to just sort of like play like a dude who is kind of like Animal Mother from Full Metal Jacket, like, hang back and just like take people out, with like crazy, I forget what because it's been a million years since we played, but like whatever all the abilities are, like, blasting arrows and ensnaring arrows and just like stupid, crazy stuff like that. So it's pretty rad. And it gave me the opportunity to roll a lot of dice. It's like, it's kind of like the equivalent of when barbarians rage, but only for ranged fighters. So that should be pretty rad.
Right on.
Yeah.
I was enjoying that character so far. Like it's been I didn't even know like what an arcane archer was, I don't think.
Yeah, it's like one of the new classes in one of the other it's like the Xanathar's book came out that has like all these different subclasses for like the core class archetypes. Mm-hmm. So it's like a fighter subclass. Yeah. So it's pretty sweet. And swapping characters is a good way to dodge all these people that like have scores to settle, because it's like, yeah, the pirates. Oh yeah, I'm not playing that guy anymore. Like,
yeah, whatever.
The Artoparth Trading Company that wants us dead. Yeah, I wasn't around for that. Like, but I mean, there's some other stuff that I know that Jones has me and its crosshairs, because of like the whole origin of the zombie thing or whatever. But yeah, I want to play. I think this will be the guy. That's what I say now, right?
Yeah.
But,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Paris.
I play a Genasi bard named Aya. It was originally like a really, I don't know, I guess lazy concept. I was like, I play a singer, and I am a singer, so it's like kind of dumb. But I said it. But like, I'm not a half genie, right? So that's fun. I'm an air Genasi, so I decided to make her kind of airheaded and kind of just like impulsive and like, I don't know, a little bit different, I guess, than what I would normally play. But it's fun. The other thing about her too is that we used to have Paul, who played a half giant, who was Aya's bodyguard. So it was sort of like a weird, I don't know, Tina Turner thing where she was squishy. So she had this big half giant to sort of protect her and be kind of like the muscle. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all I really have to say. I've consistently played the same character. It's not that interesting, but I think that we certainly get into some stuff together, and I think I provide a good balance to some of the other things that happen in our group and the other people in our group. So
I've got some cool gear too. Like you've got some cool gear that's come in handy a lot, like that weird mask and that kooky loot thing that like I forget what it does, but like you play it's like made out of like a skull.
Yeah, my skull lyre, which is based on a real thing.
Lyre Morpheus.
I mean, but all the props for that shit goes to Jones because he's just giving us like sick loot and equipment. I have the skull lyre. I have some bangles that allow me to like if I click my bracelets together, I can zap to like another place on the map and then zap back. So I can like I don't know, like boop myself into another square, like punch someone and then like boop back or whatever,
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's great. It's probably the character I've played the longest in any of my campaigns. We've been doing this for 4 years, something like that.
We can't ever get together. Like that's part of the challenge.
Yeah.
I know.
There's some literal months in between when we can actually all get in the same room.
Oh yeah, like what level are we even right now? Like 8? Like we're not even
8, I think.
Yeah. And I just started a campaign 2 months ago with most of my house and my bandmates. And that's like I'm already at level 6 in like 6 weeks. And I'm like, what is this? I don't know. How am I leveling up this fast? There's something wrong. And people are like, no, Paris, you just this is normal.
You're playing regularly. You're regularly getting together. Yeah.
Yeah, which well, virtually, but yeah, I mean, it's just this group is just a hard group to pin down. So
Yeah,
I honestly, I find that like sometimes with a game, like when you get it's kind of like, I don't know, it's playing like one of those Elder Scrolls games. It's like then just like as you level up and you get really, really strong, then your average bandit has to level up in kind, and it's just kind of you know what I mean? It's a little bit like wonky.
Yeah.
Like where you're like a walking god, but then every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes across your path is also like an equivalent walking god, so they can give you a challenge or something like that.
Well, Jones isn't throwing super powerful serfs at us. You know, like,
no,
that's true.
That's what I'm saying. I like the
badass things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's what I like it when you like everything still kind of like relative, and like I like being level 7 or 6 or whatever the hell we are.
Yeah, 8. I don't know. I don't even know at this point. I haven't looked at my ай character sheet in like a year at this point. I don't know. Feels like a year.
Do you want to start on the alignment stuff?
Oh yeah, sure. Pat, I guess you're up first.
Okay, I
mean,
pulled.
you should explain it because like we've all talked about it, but
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
What are you talking about?
I was planning on that. No, John came up with the idea of doing 9 different albums for the different D&D alignments. If you're not familiar, it's it's lawful good all the way through chaotic evil, with neutral being in the middle. There's 9 of them. Use your imagination. We're gonna be talking about it, so I don't need to explain it in full. It'd be redundant. But for each, how a measure of how good or evil or neutral somebody is in this game. If you've gotten this far and you're actually watching this, you probably know what it is. Because it wouldn't be interesting if you didn't have it.
The reason why I thought this would be cool. I don't know. Maybe it won't be cool. Maybe big fucking snooze. Was that I was trying to think like, okay, we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, but Pat, your channel is like a a metal and a music channel.
Yeah.
So like, how do we tie these things together, right? And then I saw somebody post something, I think on like Instagram or something, where it's like 9 Desert Island records, and it's like, okay, that's a 3x3 grid, great. And then I was like, oh, right. There's 9 alignments, and then I was like, oh yeah, like and I had like a really nerdy moment by myself, and I got really excited. I was just like, oh, great. That's kind of like where it came from. Like,
all right, so yeah, and
tie it into your business.
It's cool, and I've seen other stuff like that in the form of memes, like Authoritarian Left, and it's like an album, like the political spectrum one. I don't think I've seen it for the alignment, so it's a really cool idea. Each alignment being a different album. I guess it could be trademarked by John Peters. For starting right off, glare. Lawful Good, Shelter.
Nice.
Perfection of Desire, Hare Krishna Hardcore, all about like giving.
That's crazy.
Not giving into material and all kind of, that kind of philosophy. Clean living, vegetarian, former Youth of Today, Posse people. So that's my Lawful Good. We can go around and do on, or I didn't have it really planned out, but
I guess maybe we could do that. Like, we should all share our lawful goods, and then we move to the next one.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we do it in 3? Like, I'll do all the lawfuls, and then and then we can do like the 3 neutral bracket ones and like that. I had for
awful of you.
I know, right?
Very lawful.
I had lawful.
Losing subs right now. Like, fuck this.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Lawful neutral, trouble the skull. Just because it's like, it's doom metal. It's that kind of Christian doom metal, but not overtly so. It's kind of in the spirit of Black Sabbath. Like, there's consequences to life.
Okay.
Bible sort of kind of shit. And then finally, lawful good, brutal truth. Extreme conditions demand extreme responses.
Wait,
chaotic.
Is that lawful? You said lawful good. Is that lawful?
I'm sorry, lawful. Chaotic. Fuck.
Yeah, where are we? What are we
Where
doing?
are we in the chart?
Yeah, we don't know where we are in your chart, Pat. You were gonna do all the lawfuls, I thought.
Yeah, sorry, lawful good, lawful neutral.
Yeah.
Lawful evil.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So this sounds, it sounds evil, but it has like more of a kind of a moralistic bent with some of the lyrics. It's grindcore. So, anyways, so that's mine.
Okay, so we're doing all the lawfuls. All right, so Sprig, what you
lawfuls,
got?
then neutrals, then chaotic.
All right, so I'm going to be a bit of a disappointment because I don't have pictures of what I did. I just did a list because I'm too lazy to get these out, and like some of them I don't own. Is this supposed to be records we own?
No, I didn't think so.
Whatever.
I just happen to pull stuff in my collection because I have a collection.
All right, so I have a theme. I have a theme list, and I struggled with many of these. I will say that. So my list probably is going to stink. And I mostly struggled with the lawful ones. Those are really tough, especially lawful good and lawful neutral. Those are tricky.
Yeah.
I think the rest of the list is pretty fine.
I got
my theme list.
We're supposed to be chaotic good, and then I fucked that up. So whatever. It's not.
Okay.
It's fun.
So we're doing all the lawfuls. Is that what we're doing? And then we're gonna do neutral and then chaotic.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So lawful good for me is Weird Al Yankovic, Straight Outta Linwood. For no other reason than it fits my theme list. You'll get it in about a second. It looks very majestic on it.
Fuck
I don't really know. I struggle with that one immensely. Lawful neutral, Alapalooza. I don't know. That's some pretty positive songs, but it's kind of just like vanilla down the middle. Yeah, whatever. Lawful evil is Weird Al's newest album, Mandatory Fun. It's very dictatorial cover, and so there we go.
Nice.
There
Are
you
there
go.
9 Weird Al albums? Or are we gonna go through all Weird Al?
I don't know why I'm
Back
surprised
catalog?
by this. I shouldn't be surprised by this, but this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Great.
Rufio would
Those
be
are my
proud.
lawful.
Whew.
That's great. Who's up? You want me to go?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to start.
Lawful good. Armored Saint, March of the Saint.
Oh, okay.
On the
All
basis of the album cover alone.
Yeah.
That works.
I'm not, full disclosure, not really a Armored Saint fan. I like some jams, that's cool, but I was just like lawful good, like a bunch of paladin looking knights on the cover. So totally lawful good in my opinion. Lawful neutral, I'm gonna say for me, Neurosis Times of Grace.
Okay.
Okay.
I almost got that.
This album is, for me, I feel like this album is it is a desert island album for me. Like it is absolutely one of my favorite records of all time. I feel like there is an order to it. Even in songs where there is sort of like a chaos or a discordance to it, like Doorway or whatever. It's like I feel like it is a methodical, thought out, planned out thing. I feel like Neurosis executes on a plan, but it is not a plan, at least in my estimation, that goes into a sort of evil or good kind of category. It's more like a force of nature, kind of like it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Good explanation, John. Good explanation.
I almost got that album too and I was thinking lawful. Lawful's hard in this category, but like because it syncs with another album, like what's more lawful than that?
Oh, that's a really good point, right? Like What is that? I forget. I never did that whole Dark Side of
Tribes of Neuron.
Neuron. Yeah. Okay. I never did that. I got to, I should do that. Maybe that should be one of my quarantine experiments while I got some time on my hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Lawful Evil. So I have bullshit to back up all of these claims, whether or not you'll double click on it and whatever. My Lawful Evil, Seasons in the Abyss, Slayer.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. It's very sensible.
I'm calling that Lawful Evil because, all right, it's Slayer. It's in the evil category, but I think Slayer wants to be chaotic evil. And maybe if we were talking like Show No Mercy or like, some Haunting the Chapel era or some shit like that, all right, maybe I'd say chaotic evil. But you're Slayer. You're like millionaires, yeah. So you're lawful evil, and you're lucky that I'm giving you evil at that.
When I was trying to do my like serious list before it devolved into a Weird Al discography list, just because I really was struggling with it sometimes. I was like, same thing with you. I was struggling about I had Hell Awaits in my list, and I didn't know where to put it. Yeah. And I was thinking like lawful evil or chaotic neutral or something, because like again, like they want to be evil, but it's just not really. It doesn't really have much to say, and I feel like they don't really believe half the shit that they write about.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
In terms of just like living and breathing it,
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Right.
Don't get me wrong.
That's not a dig on them.
Right.
It's not a dig on them, but it's just to say that like they're singing about something, but they have I would have done like chaotic evil would have been like some like NSBM stuff or something if I had a series.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Seasons in the Abyss.
Oh yeah.
I love me some Dave Lombardo era Slayer. So
yeah, I mean one of my all-time top bands, of course. Fantastic. Not a knock on them whatsoever.
Yeah. All right, so those are my lawfuls. Who's up?
Okay.
Joan, I'm gonna nominate Joan so I can run to the bathroom. Ha ha.
But you won't know my picks. You'll have to watch it back. Okay, so for
archive,
I had a little. I was in a bind a little bit just because my I'm like the least metal of all of you. But I'm a
Weird Al.
I was like I'm like a bard. Like I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I love metal. I just don't go as deep. But when you brought up, before we did this, is anyone making their like grid? I was like, oh, I don't have to own. But if I don't have to own it, I can fill out a grid, no problem.
Yeah.
I was looking through like between me and my wife, we own like 20 records and 10 CDs. So I was like, oh man, I don't know. But anyway, so I went with all right, to kick it off, Lawful Good. I've got Richie Blackmore's Rainbow.
Oh, nice.
I mean, what's more metal, but also Lawful Good than that record?
Yeah, stuff on that.
Neutral, I was a little like hard, it's like what's neutral? So I did the only good one, the Nativity and Black Sabbath tribute, because it's like kind of all over the place. Like I wanted to say chaotic, but it's like it's such a down the middle tribute album. I love it. Some of it sucks, obviously, but like there's some really good jams on there, and but like anything I like mostly is just a band playing the song straight up, like not adding anything. So
surprisingly, the Biohazard cover, they don't really change it much. Like that.
None of them. Like I like the Sepultura one a lot. They don't literally change nothing. They
What does Sepultura do? It's Symptom of the Universe, right?
Yeah, great Symptom of the Universe, but it's like they're playing off sheet music. Like they even do the like classical guitar part.
Yeah. Symptom of the Universe.
The one thing that kind of flies in the face of that is at the end, Typo Negative does Black Sabbath, and it's amazing. It has it's the song, they're covering the song, but they went fully into like typo negative. Like,
it's weird. They add a part on the end that's like not in the original song at all.
Oh, that's weird. I don't think I've ever heard that.
It's like moody. It's good. I think I've played it in the background of our games a couple times.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have. Yeah.
Probably.
It's a new interpretation. It's awesome, but
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So that's the caveat to what I said about the rest of the record. And then this is humiliating, but I did also have Seasons of the Abyss. As
That's not humiliating. I'm actually shocked that there's any crossover.
Well, I mean, I was, same as John. I was like, Slayer's got to go on here, and it would feel weird to make them not evil. And so my evils, I kind of shuffled around, and I was like, I mean, it could obviously be chaotic evil, but I had something. I mean, all 9 of mine are chaotic evil, so it's like which flavor of chaotic evil, and it didn't feel like the most. And so I kind of, I threw this all together like an hour ago, but what John said when he said it is like, it's just too precise to not be. If you need a lawful evil, I don't know. It's too composed and thought out.
You know what would be a great lawful evil that I wish I would have thought of that instead of confusing lawful evil and chaotic good, which I did with the Brutal Truth, is
oh yeah, absolutely.
Like traditional, I think LaVeyan Satanist, he's a moral dude. He's all about upside down crosses and stuff. So yeah, that's mine now. Never mind Brutal Truth. That's
okay. Give you them all again. I was talking to some people before getting on, and I was telling them about this, and they actually, one of my friends was saying "Oh, do you have Merciful Fate in there?" And I was like, "Oh no, that would have been a great idea."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We fucked up.
All right.
Yeah. Paris, you haven't gone yet. You can well,
no, I know. Unfortunately, I've already sealed my fate with this graphic here. So let me share my screen for this. So goodbye to my fucking face for right now.
Let's see if it works with all these people on.
Paris, are you putting up an entire grid?
No, I'm just putting up the selection.
Oh, here we go. All
right.
Ooh.
All right. So my lawful good is Eternal Champion, the Armor of Ire. I don't know that really needs any explanation. I mean, you are a reincarnated. You're a reincarnated champion fighting for good in a variety of timelines, and it's just epic as fuck. It's one of my favorite albums. So that's lawful good. I don't know if I need to.
They were paint lawful good. That was their instructions to the cover artist.
Yo, fun fact, that's the same cover artist Concilium has, Adam Burke. He is amazing. Yeah, we share cover artists. All right. So my lawful neutral is Scald, Will of the Gods is great power. And my reason for that is, I guess, the album title and just the sense it overall kind of evokes is, they're not. I don't get a sense of good or bad. I get a sense of I trust in whatever the powers that be allow, and therefore they will roll with either if the gods will, right? So this is also one of my favorite albums. Scald's amazing. I'm really glad that they came back with Felipe on vocals. So yeah, that's that. And then my choice for lawful evil is Akercock, Antichrist. I love this band, and I feel like a lot of people don't or don't know them. They're a British band, and they're super satanic. This album, Antichrist, naturally, is just, I don't know, lawful evil, like we were saying, the people that really paint their Satanism by numbers, and not in a bad way. I love this album. I think it's brilliant musically as well. But conceptually, if I think of lawful evil, I think of Akercock and this album in particular. I mean, other albums they've done that I really like are Words That Go Unspoken, Deeds That Go Undone, and Karanzan is another good one from them. So those are my lawfuls.
Nice.
All right, so
let me stop sharing.
Get into some neutrals. Neutral good, Fugazi.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. The
first Fugazi, this is what, the 7 songs. yeah, I fucking, it's Ian doesn't judge. He's a chill guy, but he stands for like a lot of good causes and stuff. But there's no like casting judgment on people or anything like that. He's just kind of like, hey man, don't do this or not.
Unless you're moshing at their shows.
Oh yeah, yeah. And when it's moshing, it's chaotic. Lawful. It's definitely a different alignment. I don't know. Chaotic good, I guess. But and then true neutral, all I could think of was Dead Can Dance.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay. My favorite personally, Anastasis is my favorite Dead Can Dance album, but that's a great choice.
Yeah, I mean, this is when they were a little bit more on the new wave, like post-punk kind of side, and not as much like world music influenced. But it's also very just like completely in the center of everything. It's great.
I feel like Dead Can Dance is one of those bands, like Pat. You know how you and I often have conversations about like, oh, I don't know why you don't know about this, and like you turn me on to stuff and all that. I feel like Dead Can Dance is like in my like because you listened to Sisters of Mercy, you should listen. Like it would be like a recommendation or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's the thing is like with them, they're so singular, I guess, like or unique or whatever. Like for the style of music they do, like they came out of death rock and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But even by the time that first one came out, they had like a kind of similar vocal approach and like sort of a Joy Division-y kind of bass sound, but there's also way more going on. And then as like their discography progresses, they work in more and more like medieval music from different countries.
Okay.
And it's a whole thing. It's really cool,
Yeah.
It sounds like it'd be up my alley. It's weird
because if you describe it wrong, the person that's listening would probably be like, "You're talking about world music. World music isn't good." And like, it's
Ray's bookstore, that world music shit.
Hey man,
Yeah, exactly.
like real talk, I love Lorena McKenna, and that's like some white lady world music shit, but
That
she's
is
great.
the nature store.
She's an amazing musician, composer, human being. Like I stand by Lorena McKenna.
I like Lorena McKenna, but she is straight up nature
know.
store.
Mm.
That's
Very,
like
very
the
crunchy,
checkout.
very
Yeah.
granola. Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I love where this is going.
What is this?
Natural Evil, Bloodlet, and the
Oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, because they're chill, Like, dude had dreads for a long time. They're definitely into the devil's lettuce, but they're also very evil. Oh, that's pretty much all the thought I put into that.
Oh,
You
that's
mean
great.
goof gas?
What's that?
You mean goof gas?
Goof
Yeah.
gas? Oh my god, I've never heard that. That's
They take the pot. They shoot
Yeah.
pot. All right, Garbog.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, I reached over to grab a couple things just so I could
Can't
share what
wait.
I have.
I'm
What?
kind of terrified. But
Can't wait.
What?
That'd be
Oh,
good.
I don't know. All right. So neutral, good. I mean, again, I struggle with this one, but I decided to go with Weird Al Polka Party. But I just think that
dude,
I'm
the
not
fact
trying
that
to-
you have the fucking vinyl is like so good.
yeah.
Legit.
And so I just think that he's not trying to really say much of anything, but they're all having a good time, and this is like some wholesome fun, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think that's pretty cool. I don't have the True Neutral record. I used to have it on CD. It was one of the first things that I ever bought with my own money when I was like 11 or some shit like that. It's the Food album, Weird Al comp, because that's just like got nothing to say about anything. If I was gonna pick
With
a real record, it's just about food. I mean, it's great. I love Rocky Road, Eat It. I mean, who doesn't like that stuff?
Yeah.
If I was gonna pick a real True Neutral record, I struggle with this. Just like something that has nothing to say about anything, but is also good. When I was originally thinking, heavy metal, I would have gone with Too Fast for Love, Motley Crue. Just again, it's nothing to say about anything. Fantastic record. But and sticking with the neutral evil, I decided to go with Weird Al's Even Worse. This is not Maleficent. He's not, trying to hurt anybody, but it's a bad boy right there. He's a bad boy.
Yeah.
This is more than I ever could have imagined. I'm so pleased.
I love it.
That's it. That's what I got.
Great.
Is it to me? Is it to me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So neutral good. I don't know. Is this going to be controversial? I don't know. I'm saying I got Crystal Logic. I got Manila Road.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
That's solid.
I feel
Solid
like
choice.
Killer record.
it's good because it's thwarting the Riddle Master and all that stuff. But it's not lawful good and it's not chaotic good. It's more like it comes off to me as more of an old school D&D kind of vibe where it's like I'm fighting bad guys, but I'm getting my treasure too, and all that stuff. So I feel like that's more like a neutral good kind of vibe for me. Solid record. I love this record.
Good.
True neutral for me. I'm going with I'm going with Bell Witch Longing.
Interesting choice. Okay.
My rationale is that I listen to this record. It has like this like static kind of like, or I shouldn't say it's static. It's more like a slow build. It's not punchy, and it leaves me feeling sort of like emptied out. And so I kind of like think of that as kind of like a neutrality where it's like, okay, it's like this emotional sort of like emptying kind of experience that
not like a Garbog emptying.
No, not like a no.
Oh yeah, so good.
But that's kind of like how I think about it, and so that's how I approached the neutral pick. Not so much necessarily about the music, although it's somewhat about the music, but more about like the experience of listening to the record and like how it makes me think or whatever.
Cool. Good justification there.
Thank you. I told you I have bullshit answers to all of these. So
same. Yeah.
Neutral evil. Electric Wizard Dope Throne.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's evil. You've got a devil creature-ish thing on the front, but it's neutral. It's like you're smoking, you're ripping.
It's a wizard.
You're ripping tubes. You're smoking the devil's lettuce, the goof gas, and it's like a neutral thing or whatever. But like it's evil. That's
what makes it neutral.
What's that?
That's what makes it neutral is that he's smoking a bong.
Yeah. I had the same thing with Bloodlet that I said. Like, you can't be that evil if you're taking pot.
Taking hits of pot.
Yeah.
Oh God, my neutral evil is gonna be so controversial. Oh God.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
But Jones is up next.
Oh yeah. Okay. So for neutral good, I got Nazareth, Hair of the Dog.
Yeah, right on. All right.
Oh, dealing with them.
And like Nazareth, I don't know, it feels like a good.
Great record. Good art.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, actually, I should say great art, good record.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Nazareth is always that band that sort of like bamboozled you. Like you thought you think Nazareth, it sounds really heavy and the art dope and it's like really
that art.
And then you're like, what is this? Like bullshit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. There was that whole era.
Love Hurts is on that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my least favorite song. There's some good songs on it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure. Love Hurts is like the not their best song.
Agreed.
No, I'd say not.
A quick note, I feel like that a lot of that 70s cover art was very deceptive to like 80s and 90s metalheads before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
let me get
Molly
this.
Hatchet was like that.
What's that?
Molly Hatchet was like that. Didn't Molly Hatchet have
Definitely.
Rosetta or some shit?
Yeah, Molly Hatchet had Frazettas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, and then you listen to it and you're like, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
With disaster.
Yeah.
Close, man.
That's like when I was a kid and I got late teens and I loved Slayer and then I heard on some kid on the bus like mention Slaughter and I was like, oh my God, they must be even more like bananas. So I checked out Slaughter and I was like, this doesn't make sense at all.
Sleep on.
Yeah, there is another Slaughter in
bamboozle.
Canada that is great and is more extreme than Slayer. But
yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was thinking of. I was like, different Slaughter, I guess. But
yeah, no, there was the hair metal Slaughter in the '90s that were really
Pat, I feel like did I buy that record off you?
What, a Slaughter record?
Yeah, maybe.
No.
Maybe
I had one Slaughter record that I think I sold to Armageddon a long time ago. That was a rehearsal record, but anyway.
No, I haven't. Yeah.
Got receipts.
I did sell that to you.
You sold it to me. Yeah, I knew it. I was like, yeah, sir. It's a rehearsal with Chuck Schuldiner. I don't know.
That's right. I kind of regret telling you that, but I'm glad it got to you and not just okay. Yeah, my memory.
So there's like a good
night on it.
Yeah, this is the good Slaughter.
Does it have Up All Night on it though? Is that?
No, it does not.
Oh, okay.
I just checked the listings again.
Oh, bummer.
All right, what's your next one, Eric?
Okay, so True Neutral. Even in D&D, I'm kind of like, what is that? Just like indecisive. So I knew this had to be on here, but it fit the True Neutral spot, which is Carp's self-titled record.
Sorry, what was it?
Carp with a K.
Does that have Bacon Industry on it?
No idea.
I honestly don't know. The only reason I know the record at all is it has D&D Party, the song D&D Party, which is about they have a party when they play D&D.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a song called Bacon Industry that I think's on that record.
I think probably.
And there's a line that they rip off from Joe Walsh. He's like, "My Maserati goes 185," right? Like that line.
Oh God!
I first found them because on another record they have a song about roller derby, and so I stumbled on them that way because we have a roller derby store, and I was looking for there's probably some songs out there about roller derby, and sure enough, Carp has a pretty good one, and then I was like, oh, they also have a D&D party song.
Nice,
and it's great. Okay, so yeah, what are we on? Neutral Evil? Yeah, so I got Black Sabbath.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Solid.
I love I love this album. I like all the, first 6. But I feel like the first one's the most Dungeons and Dragons of them all. And it's evil, but it's not lawful and it's not chaotic.
Yep.
Yeah. Solid choice. Fair. Yeah.
Like I said, when I went to arrange them, and I was like, kind of like all 9 of these are chaotic evil. So that I really wanted that chaotic evil spot to be particularly egregious. So Black Sabbath was definitely in my 9, but not it wasn't the chaotic one. So
yeah, I get it.
There it is.
Nice.
That's my neutrals.
All right, I guess it's me with my neutrals. I'm gonna share this again because I didn't spend 4 hours of my afternoon making this for nothing. Shit. Okay, I guess it's gonna be stupid. So 1 second.
No power.
All right.
Oh wait.
Can we all?
There we go.
Can we say that? All right.
Gotta approve.
Sharing my neutrals.
All right. So my neutral good choice is "Awaken the Guardian" by Fate's Warning.
Nice.
I love this album. And to me, it's not lawful good because when you're listening to the lyrics, it feels like, I don't know. It feels like good. Like it's not evil at all, but it's not like the protagonist is seeking out good things to do. It's kind of just like, fuck, I gotta defend this thing again. God damn it. I don't know. It's a great album. I think it makes sense to me.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. True Neutral is Obsequier's aria of Vernal Tombs. I love Obsequier. I think they're just one of the most distinct newer bands in heavy music. And this album, what?
I said, "Sup, Tanner?" Because I met him yesterday at another live stream, and
I know
good dude.
That's so weird. Yeah. Hey, dude. So this album, I think to me is true neutral because it's like I feel like it has this weird appeal because you've got this sort of like Renaissance medieval music fused with heavy metal or fused with black metal, I guess. And the lyrics are all this sort of like nature worship stuff that I feel like everybody can really get on board with, unless you're like a weird corporate scum that loves dumping oil into fucking rivers, like which nobody truly is, I hope, in the heavy music scene. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just got this really. Yeah, so those are the two reasons I think that makes sense. Like it's I feel like it's got a wide appeal, and also the lyrics are all about something that I feel like so many people can get on board with, which is just like, hey, nature's pretty rad, right? So there you go.
Neutrality.
And then my neutral evil is Dissection, Storm of the Light's Bane. So this is another album that I love despite how problematic John Lodvait is. I mean, like many people my age, this album, like all of Dissection's album, even Ryan Chaos, fight me in the comments, but even Ryan Chaos,
boy.
I know. So obviously, like Storm of the Light's Bane, and obviously, like the first two are the things that like really got to me as a kid. But I like Ryan Chaos anyway. But this is neutral evil to me because Dissection is obviously fucking evil as hell. But
True.
To me, neutral evil is like an evil where you're just concerned with yourself, and Dissection has always been a very like selfishly evil band to me. So those are my neutrals. I'm sure people are gonna want to fight me, so see you later.
I love this guy's comment.
Oh wait, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'll bring it back.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
We are talking alignments, which are all the different ways you can be good or evil or in between in Dungeons and Dragons, and assigning roles to them. If you don't know D&D, it's probably make a lot of sense. And yeah,
the first challenge up is.
And this is my buddy Ben, who's an awesome dude who lives in Iowa, who has a very strong Ryan Chaos.
I mean, to be fair, like it's my least favorite of the three main Dissection albums, but I don't think it blows. But I still love you, man. Still love you.
Music is subjective.
Great. Yeah, it's a divisive record. I don't care for it myself.
That's fine. That's fine. No.
Okay. So Chaotix. I had a couple.
Oh yeah.
I had a couple of choices for Chaotic Good that I just kind of pulled randomly.
It's real.
Chaotic Good, Tragedy, Vengeance.
Ooh.
Tragedy, okay.
Yeah.
Like the music isn't chaotic. It's not like, if I really wanted to go chaotic with like the musical style and good, it would probably have to be Zao or like some like falling down the stairs clock radio metalcore shit. I'm not
Zao? Oh God.
Zao or something. Yeah. So I grabbed Tragedy Vengeance because it's heavy and intense and like really crushing sonically, but all the lyrics are more or less on the side of what I view to be good things. And also similarly, although maybe not the best person as far as like the actual singer, but like Systems Overload by Integrity, because there's all this kind of fire and brimstone stuff with it, but there's also a song about how like the Armenian people were persecuted, and they have like an anti-ATF song and some other shit like that. What's that?
That is your chaotic neutral, or is that honorable mention chaotic?
Tied for Chaotic Good. These two probably more on the side of Tragedy. And then for Chaotic Neutral, that is a tough one, but the closest I could come to it, just like giving it only like a little bit of thought, was Acme, to reduce the choir of one soloist. And this really is
crazy alarm clock.
I have no idea what that is. Not a
German early metalcore band. They sound like a mix of like fucking Slayer and Rorschach. Like it's very evil sounding. It's just got a certain kind of atmosphere to it. Like it's a really destroying record, but it doesn't. It's more like capturing like personal stuff. Like it's not so much like anything praising anything evil, but it just sounds really fucking evil. That's
really good. I haven't listened to that in years, but like, ooh, I like wonderful.
That. I don't like too music like that, you know, but like Acme just fucking nailed it. And finally, Chaotic Evil, you got to go with Blasphemy, Fallen Angel of Doom.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Rock Bait Cult, you know, I like it's hell sounding. It sounds like a bomb going off. You know, a bunch of like power bald dudes that supposedly like sacrifice people in a cemetery or set. You know, like a lot of like urban legend of them. Just the whole sound is embodies Chaotic Evil as far as I'm concerned. So those are my picks.
Cool.
Oh, my turn?
Oh yeah.
Okay. My turn. Chaotic Good. Weird Al. Dare to be stupid? Gotta be.
God,
Gotta be Dare to be stupid.
This is the best bit I've ever seen. It's so good.
Love it.
Freaking amazing.
All right, now I'm gonna get back into ones I don't have the actual album of. So Dare to be Stupid, Chaotic Good.
Fuck.
I mean, it's uplifting, but the whole, you know, I don't know. The Dare to be Stupid thing is just fantastic. Video for that is amazing. It was in I mean, just think about it like Chaotic Good. The song takes place, it's in 1986 Transformers the movie on the junk planet with Eric Idle doing a fucking line dance and shit. It's great. Chaotic Neutral is Weird Al Off the Deep End. That's the one with the Nirvana Nevermind cover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it speaks for itself, I think. And then Chaotic Evil had to be, even though it's probably my least favorite of his full-length albums, Alpocalypse. Gotta be. Same with the Four Horsemen on the cover. Fire and Brimstone, fantastic. It's the only one that really stood out.
Wow.
That's it. There we go.
Nice.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I celebrated his entire catalog, by the way. I celebrated his entire catalog. And I tried to keep it, I could have gone into singles and shit, but I decided to keep it all to full lengths.
Keep it pure.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Keep it true.
Keep it true.
I'd say honorable mention, though, to Poodle Hat and Bad Hair Day for just like neutral.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Great choices.
yeah.
All right. This one, I don't know. This one I suspect will spark controversy. This is my Chaotic Good.
Heaven and Hell.
Heaven and Hell.
I think that's good. I think that's a good choice.
That's a good choice. What's wrong with Heaven and Hell?
I mean, I feel my rationale for why it's Chaotic Good is less about the music. Like I think Pat, like I think you were thinking, and this is not, you know, wrong. I think you took a good approach. Like, is the music itself chaotic, right?
Right.
I'm thinking about this as more like a departure from like lawfulness, right? So I feel like it's good because, you know, I feel like you got like Neon Nights and you know, the song Heaven and Hell, like I feel like is more like in a good category, but I feel like it's chaotic in that it's not aligned with lawfulness or anything like that. And then also you got Angels, you know, smoking butt cover, right? Like that's chaotic.
Yeah.
Hey, we're angels, we're good. We're gonna
like I gotta say, like probably more people are gonna want to fight me for this opinion, but personally, I am excited about your choice because I like Dio and Tony Martin era Sabbath more than Ozzy era Sabbath.
Get the hell out of here.
I mean, I love
talking about
Sabbath, but
give me Headless Cross, give me Heaven and Hell.
I have said so many times, I am more of a Ronnie James Dio. I am more.
What are you talking about?
John and I are gonna be excised from the party. Like fucking.
I'll give you Dio, but Tony Martin, like, what are you? Come on, give me.
I love Tony Martin.
Well, that's a hill that Paris can die on. I draw the line at
yeah, I'll die on the hill with the Headless Cross.
I'm Ian Gillan only. The only. I like Born Again, and that's it. That's all I like about him.
I mean, we're talking about like those first, like, I don't know. We'll say that, I'll go first 5 of like the greatest. I mean, those albums are in the running. Like that incarnation of that band is like one of the greatest bands, like outside of hard rock, of all time. I mean, it's just like it's in a pantheon unto itself, like unfuckwithable.
I don't
but
that at all.
You do you, more power to you. I'm just like
I don't dispute it, and I love and celebrate those albums.
Yeah,
they're personal taste more for Ronnie James Dio.
I fucking love Dio.
Like Dio era Sabbath to me is almost like a different band. It's more
totally
agree
than any of the Proto Doom stuff that Sabbath was doing. Yeah, with Ozzy. So I feel like it's like a separate band almost, right?
The funniest thing for me is I've had this conversation with some of my other friends, and I've just to take the piss in an argument, I've gone with like Dio Sabbath being, my favorite Sabbath, even though I don't personally actually believe it. It's 1 and maybe like a 1A minus to me. Like I really, really, really love Dio. Yeah. And I'll go toe to toe on like who had the better solo career. That one I think is like really close. But it's just like I can't, like with a straight face, I can't do it.
I don't know. I love Uncle Ron. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, no, me too.
It's all right.
All right.
Sorry, it was a Tony Martin thing.
Well, I knew that's sorry. Spark some controversy, but not necessarily because of my position on what era Sabbath is better. I just thought people were going to be like, "No, get that out. That's not chaotic good." Like whatever.
Why not? Let's get Die Young on it. It's a great song.
Yeah. I feel like it's a chaotic good album.
None smoke cigarettes.
What's that?
I said none smoke cigarettes in real life, so
true.
Why can't angels?
Right. All right. So chaotic neutral. I feel like Sepultura Arise.
Huh. Okay.
This one I feel like maybe I'm putting this one up probably because of the maybe more of like the chaotic kind of elements of it.
Okay, yeah.
You and I have talked a number of times, and we got to figure out if we're going to do the Ground Zero episode about the Sepultura thing that I'm always like the part where they like shift into the thing. You know what I'm talking about.
That weird tempo shift that they do.
I love it. Your viewers will think I'm a complete lunatic. But I feel like that's like a good chaotic neutral. I mean, Murder, Infected Voice, dead embryonic cells, like that shit is sort of like it's foreboding and menacing and all that, but it's not. I don't necessarily think aligned evil or good.
Okay,
in my opinion,
yeah, sure.
But I love this. I love this record, like regardless of what alignment it stupidly aligns with. And then
that was Terry's Palace was the cover of.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Terry's Palace.
Yeah.
Terry the Demon. Yeah, that's
Terry
right.
The Demon lived there.
Michael Whalen from the cover of that.
All right, my final pick for Chaotic Evil. I don't know. I'm going Midnight Satanic Royalty.
Oh yes, I almost chose that, but I didn't. So nice, good choice.
I feel like that's pretty evil and chaotic. So there you go. Thanks for playing. Thanks for coming out.
Jones.
All right. So my first one's a little weird. It's not going to make sense at first, but my chaotic good is Goblin's soundtrack to Suspiria.
Okay.
Interesting choice. Okay.
So obviously that's super evil. I'm going purely off the actual like listening experience. I feel like is more chaotic good.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Just solid go-to in the when I did play background music in the games. Something I tried not to do because we're all such music nerds that I felt like it was a massive distraction if I played music because you could see some.
Sorry, that comment is great.
Is that which album is that? Like, or just getting completely off course, but whatever. That's a great it's a great D&D record, and it's for being a horror movie. It's got a lot of nice, vibes going on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then for Chaotic Neutral, I absolutely had to shout out. Where is it? Lazaro.
Oh yeah, my
Yes.
my bud.
So
Oh yes.
I went to see
Fuck
Parrish's
yes.
band one time, and Lazaro went on before them, and it blew my mind. I was looking forward to like just sitting there and hanging out and being bored until Concilium came on. But Lazaro came on, and they're an odd trio, and I was just like, what are these guys' deal? And then they just started playing like alternating like moody moog stuff, and then like metal, and I was like, this band's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember like they started playing like fucking Fabio, whatever that guy's name, Fritzy or something. Yeah. And like, because at the time John was in Concilium too, I think, right? At that time.
Yeah. That's how
I remember.
I was like, we played with them at Ralph's. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just remember being like, oh my god, like you were like, holy shit, is that what I think it is? And I was like, I don't know, is it? And we were like, whoa, this band is rad. And like we made friends with them, and my favorite memory is like waltzing with the drummer from that band in the parking lot, because we were all drunk, and like the drummer, who is also the drummer for Elfspell, apparently, like another ridiculous fantasy band, but she was super nice, and she was like, I want to waltz with someone, and like no one else could do it, right? So she and I just like waltzed around the Ralph's parking lot, and it was just, I don't know, it's like a fun drunk memory. Yeah, those guys are great. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good, and it's really good. Again, really good D&D music, and I don't know, it's got all the vibes. I was very pleasantly surprised by them.
Yeah. Really
and they look like they played D&D. Like it looked like.
Yeah, totally.
And then I censored. So Chaotic Evil, I was like I said, all 9 of these are to me Chaotic Evil. I feel like that's mostly the kind of music Pat covers on his channel. So I was like, all right, I basically had the other 8 positions like filled out, and I was like, all right, what beats all, like, what's the most like chaotic evil thing I can think of? And literally I had like 3 minutes until we were going live. So I was like, all right, here we go. And then I was concerned that YouTube would like block the video if I didn't do something about it. So here's the let me see. Here's the censored cover.
Oh, Brujeria. Oh, okay.
Sandagueros.
Yeah, I bought that in when I was like 18 or 19 maybe at the record store, and was it one on the corner of Marble Street in Syracuse? Whatever that record store was.
Oliver's?
What is it? Yeah, Oliver's. Yeah. So I bought that at Oliver's purely off the offensiveness of the cover. And I got home and I was like, this rules. Like, I loved it right away. And obviously, buck wild, stupid chaos, and evil, like, on purpose. And they're hilarious. I love, they did a song about Trump a couple of years ago that's really funny.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
One thing that sticks in my mind about this record is, in particular, is like, I don't know, like 9 months later, I brought like a duffel bag of CDs to Oliver's to sell to them. Like, like any record store, they'd buy them for like pennies on the dollar. Mm-hmm. And so I just put them all out, and maybe it was like 30 CDs, and they took 29. They're like, we can't take this one. And I was like, why not? And they're like, we can't have it out on our racks. It's like, it's just not cool. And I was like, I bought it here.
Oh, that's weird.
And so I had it for I think I probably like threw it in the trash. Like, I feel bad.
Shit.
Well, I showed off one of their 7 inches a few nights ago on a live stream, so I think you would have been safe, but it was worth it for the censored art. That's fucking great.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Awesome.
I'm sure it was fine, but
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, but yeah.
Nice.
yeah, that's like chaotic evil.
All right, I guess it's me. My last 3.
Bring us home.
I'm gonna bring us home. Bring us home. Okay. All right. My first choice for Chaotic Good is Hottest's newest album, Conundrum. I fucking love this band, and this record is just perfect. I don't know. It's gorgeous. I love it. It's chaotic good to me because it's clearly kind of a hero's journey sort of thing, but musically, it just surprised me in so many ways, and it doesn't feel like a traditional prog record. It's definitely got like elements of synthwave and prog and heavy metal and hard rock. It's just like this fucking perfect fusion that I just didn't think could ever really exist. It's a wonderful album. Listen to it if you're into any of the things I said a minute ago. Moving on, we have Chaotic Neutral is Storm's Nordavind. This album, I don't know. It's a really wonky album. It's an album a lot of people don't like, but I love it. It was the weird bastard child of Fenris from Darkthrone and Satyr from Satyricon, and this woman named Kari Rueslotsen, who is actually like a Norwegian pop singer, but she did this record with them for some reason. And it's like a Storm. I think this is the only thing they ever did, and it's got this. It's like really folky. It's almost like a proto folk metal, maybe not proto because folk metal existed, I guess, before this record. But it's chaotic and neutral because like it's like the lyrics are kind of just all about, I don't know, like walking around the woods and like having a good life in the fucking mountains of Norway. But if you see a Christian in the mountains, strike him down with an axe. So it's kind of like. So it's kind of like
Yikes!
Yeah. So I mean, it's sort of this like everything is cool until all of a sudden it's not, and when it's not, it's real bad. But it's a really interesting record, and to be honest, I remember the first couple times I heard it, I could not get into the female vocals on it because they're like really, really high and tinny. But I grew to love it. I think it's a really original, special record to me. Yeah, most people. I don't think I'm gonna be welcome back on this channel. Like after all of my controversial opinions. All right.
No way.
There you go.
I'll have you back on if you just want to be a guest to talk about music sometime. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. If your fucking fans don't want to kill me for bringing up things I don't like. All right.
All about hot takes. Everybody's got hot takes.
Hot takes. All right. I think my last one's gonna be a pretty cool take though, like not very hot. So my chaotic evil is Charisma from Sabat, the correct Sabat from Japan.
Oh, now that I have a problem.
No. I just like the Japanese Sabat much more than the British Sabat, but
okay, whatever. That's fine.
But Charisma to me, it's chaotic evil in the sense that like I remember when I first heard this record and it blew my fucking mind. I just had never heard anything like this. It's just like these Japanese are just screaming, but then there's like there's like a koto in the background, like traditional Japanese instruments, and you're like, holy fucking shit, I have never heard anything like this. And yeah, this is just one of those like pivotal albums for me. Like when I heard this, I was like, oh shit, there is stuff out there that I cannot comprehend in heavy music. And I love this album. I love Sabat. Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. Paris,
I love every one of their records
because I knew that you were going to come up with shit that like I had never heard of, and I don't know other than Eternal Champion. I don't know that I've heard any of these bands that you. But I love how like you have a knowledge of stuff that I just don't. So like send me your picks because I'd be interested to check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you would be into a lot of the stuff that I mentioned. So. Not all of it.
Because you and Chris were the ones who put on Eternal Champion that night after the photo shoot thing. And I was like, yeah, I can get down with this.
Yeah, good band. Good band.
Do you know, John, did you ever listen to Iron Age? They were like more.
Oh yeah, I like Iron Age. Yeah.
Oh, I was just talking to Peter about them yesterday. Actually,
Peter loves Iron Age. He was the one.
Yeah.
He's
one guy from Iron Age is an Eternal Champion.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. And it's funny because like I've never. Well, no, it's Arthur Risk and Jason Tarpey, right? It's 2 people, or am I wrong?
Oh, is it? Yeah, I don't know. I know there's a connection. I thought it was at least 1, maybe 2.
Maybe,
I'm horrible with names of people like these days. Old band member stuff from the 90s still memorized, like the entire obituary lineup and shit. But like any recent band, like, I don't know who that guy. I know it's one or 2 dudes. I don't know. But
no, dude, like my memory is also really selective. I don't fucking remember a lot of stuff too. But yeah, he was like, "Hey, have you listened to them?" And I was like, honestly, I know they exist. I know a lot of people are into them. I know they have like some association with Eternal Champion, but I've never listened to Iron Age. And I told him I would today, but I haven't yet because I had to do this.
So Iron Age has 2 records. They have, I think the first one's called Constant Struggle. The second one's called The Sleeping Eye. The first one is good, like metal leaning New York hardcore shit. Like it sounds like a bit like Leeway, kind of like Cro-Mags, like it's like that kind of stuff. And it's very good for what it is if you like that sort of thing, which I do. Sleeping Eye takes that and doses it in LSD and mixes in some Integrity and some other stuff and goes off on like weird, almost proggy, almost stoner rock little embellishments. Mm-hmm. It's its own thing. It's fucking really cool. But yeah, like clearly like those 1 or 2 guys went on totally down the rabbit hole with like traditional metal and everything. Cause I think The Sleeping Eye came out almost 10 years ago now. And I don't know exactly when they started Eternal Champion, but there were demos after The Sleeping Eye that were like even more leaning towards like kind of weird metal stuff. So worth checking out. I'm not sure if it would quite be, your thing, but like, I mean, definitely explore. I bet John would really like it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's on my list of things to check out is Eternal. Like, I forget. Like, well, the problem is like I forget all the time that that's great. I forget all the time. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I gotta listen to this later. And then I'll like close a tab and forget about it for like 5 months and be like, fuck, I meant to buy that album. God damn it. Like, I don't know. I just have a really like ADHD brain when it comes to music because I've always got things coming at me from like every direction because my whole life is music. And like, even with D&D, like all of you are also musicians and really, or really into music. And same with most other people in my life, and I just, oh God, I forget about shit all the time.
Yeah.
That's why I like Spotify. Cause like anything I hear, like a bunch of the bands Paris brought up, I'm just gonna save off into playlists, and that way I can just comb through it later, and you never forget about it.
That's smart. Yeah.
I listen to the same like 10 records over and over again.
I do that too.
Yeah, we all have that problem. So I've tried to branch out and not do that. But it is tempting because those are like your comfort albums, like shit you got into when you were like 18 or whatever, right? Like. Yeah. I mean, we all have that.
It's a good time for comfort food.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love some of the Spotify playlists that you shared.
Yeah.
That battle one is great. Like I put that on all the time.
Yeah, I've come through Pat's playlist for stuff.
What's funny is like I like making those, and they're all like 7 hours long. But in terms of like actually using them, I usually make them for like work or something or to share with friends.
Yeah.
But I'll make them and I'll be like, yeah, this is awesome. And then like I'll stream them and like play it at work like once or twice. And then it's back going to like my recent purchases. Because what I do is like Spotify's convenient. I don't have my own personal Spotify account anymore. Like Amanda has like a family thing, and I use it to like usually listen to stuff that I have on vinyl that I don't have available in MP3. All the CDs that I buy, I rip to a Dropbox and I have a player, and it's all stuff that I own physically. It's just like a weird thing that I've had the past couple of years. But the Spotify is really good for playlists, but I'll sit and be like, yeah, and like just add, but it's like making, the same, not quite as the same buzz as like making mixtapes, but like kind of a similar sort of vibe of like, look at all the stuff I'm throwing together. And then, but then I won't even listen to the entirety of one of them because they're all like ridiculously long. Like,
I love that they're long though.
Yeah.
When I was working, I would put it on and just loop it, and it'd be, you know, playing downstairs, and I can hear it up here, but it's not on, you know, not interfering with my calls or anything like that. And I'd just be like, cool. And every once in a while, I'd look over at my phone and just be like, what's this? Oh, I love this. Like, oh, this is that. Oh, okay, you know.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's fun to make there, and also it suggests stuff, and sometimes it's stuff that I don't even really know that well. Like, I'll be like, oh, I've heard of them. You know, okay, cool. Oh yeah, I remember them. I heard only one album, and they have like 10 albums. Like, whatever, you know, that kind of thing.
Who was that band? I could look at the text that I sent you, but there was a band in that playlist that I texted you, and I was like, this band's awesome, but it sounds like if Cobra Commander fronted a metal band. Because it's just like a guy just going, what's this? Ah! Don't I say? You know,
that could be so many things. Like I'm trying to figure out. I mean, that could be. Oh God, what?
But I forget who it was. But I'll have to look it up. And I was just like,
I know. I
track one.
It sounds like the voice actor for Cobra Commander. I was like,
track one. I was once a man.
Yeah. What's that?
I mean.
Said track one, I was once a man.
To me, like what you're describing kind of reminds me of Bobby Blitz from Overkill. Like, like
it wasn't Overkill.
No.
Now I got to look at the text that I sent Pat and find out who it was.
I'm looking right now. I don't think it's too far back in my history. I want to know. I want to know what this is because it's funny.
It's Whiplash.
Whiplash. Okay.
Whiplash.
Okay.
Dead.
Oh,
that's about right. Yeah.
Cobra Commander sang in a band. Yep. I thought it was awesome. I never heard them before. Like,
they're great. I mean,
I'm paying you a compliment. Like, this was legit.
That record that I threw out, that's from Ticket to Mayhem, which is okay. It's one of those things where, like, my theory, like, that record I was throwing together because I didn't know what the whole healthcare situation was going to be like, and I was expecting bedlam because of like Italy and everything. So I threw together this gnarly playlist of like get yourself pumped like fist in the air, and in some cases like it was like a lyrical or song title thing where I was like, I'll throw that in there because it fits a theme. And the name of this song was Respect the Dead, which is a little dark, you know, like
we live in dark times. It's fine.
But yeah, so that's why I threw that on there. But if you want to hear the really, I mean, all the Whiplash records are pretty decent. Yeah. But I'd recommend Power and Pain, which is their first one. There was a guy from Whiplash into another, John, the guitarist.
Really?
Yeah.
Peter Moses?
Yep. Peter Moses or Tony Bono, one of those guys was in. No, because everybody in Whiplash was named Tony. It was a three-piece.
Tony has done it again.
Maybe he was the bassist. I don't know, but like. There was a guy named Tony from Whiplash that I think he passed away recently, sadly. But he was in Into Another, which is weird. I mean, it kind of makes sense if you listen to early Into Another because it's got that like kind of post thrash, especially the self-titled record. And that dude was also like a neoclassical like shredder, but he kind of dialed it back for Into Another. But you can hear that influence. But
awesome. Cool. I should have put Into Another on my list too.
I feel like Cobra Commander is kind of a down back shredder.
Yeah.
You killed me, Jones. I'm dead. You killed me.
We have hit peak word, man.
Acerbic wit. Oh, amazing. Wow. Somebody in the comments was asking if any of us listened to The Bleeding, and I have no idea what that is, so I'm going to say no.
Unless he's talking about the Cannibal Corpse record.
He also said, does anyone here listen to Death or Thrash? And I was like, yeah, I think you're covered there.
Yeah.
Well, specifically, I think that's the genre of the band.
Yeah, that's
between death and thrash metal kind of thing. But
yeah, exactly.
No, I haven't heard them. I mean, if they sound like
The Bleeding, though, but I don't know enough to say. But I feel like it's a band that I've heard of, just never heard.
Never heard of it. No.
Yeah, I don't know them.
But yeah, Tony Bono was in both Whiplash and Into Another.
Okay.
Let's see, and yeah, 3 Tonys: Tony Portaro, Tony Scaglione, and Tony Bono. All members
Oh my god.
Tony.
Fucking New York, baby.
So many Tonys.
Anyway, but
Where else?
yeah. Unfortunately, I have to pack it in because I got to get ready to start taking Griff to bed.
Oh, bummer.
This has been really.
Shut up.
Paris, didn't you have something you had to do at 7, Paris? Or I mean, I could probably have another.
Oh no, yeah, we're supposed to have my heavy metal house plus D&D group, but I'm not sure if that's happening tonight just because due to I think we are because I'm being summoned by my guitar player. So whoops, I guess I get a jet too. So
casting a summon Paris spell.
yes. What would you summon a Paris with? That's what we'll do next time. What would you use to summon each of us? It's a good question.
Probably
Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, for you? Oh, I feel like it would have to be like 3 items and a symbol. Three items and a symbol. Like, what would you use to summon you? Like
to summon each of us?
Yes.
Musically.
Yeah.
No, I think Sour Patch Kids is like a good.
And keep
it. Moxie.
Yeah.
Moxie for you.
I would be like, I don't know, like what, a box of Cheez-Its, a Blind Guardian album, and I don't know. Solid high five. I got nothing. I'd take a Blind Guardian album and a box of Cheez-Its. Got me.
2 boxes of Cheez-Its.
Like just under a box with a stick. Like, yeah, that'll do. We'll get 'em.
Oh yeah. That would get me every time, I think.
Like a gift certificate for an Army Navy store, a bottle of Moxie, and like an obscure death metal 7-inch, like from Seraphic Decay or something like that. That would probably do it for me.
That's good.
I'm here to poop and smoke, like no problem.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I'd say some fancy Japanese denim and a bag of Sour Patch Kids.
All right.
That's the PG answer. So
Yeah,
there's so many things.
John?
I don't know. I'm hard to summon, I think.
Oh.
Gets a little blue after 8.
Like I'm thinking of remember what Chuck's answer to Snapple, the best stuff on earth.
Oh yeah. Comic books and yeah. I remember all that. That's great. All right. Any closing thoughts?
Oh, what would you? I don't know. Jones doesn't know what he would be summoned by. I think I would be summoned by like anything Norwegian, like Norwegian candy, Norwegian black metal. Like that'll get me close, and then
candle, one of those hats,
Candlemas, and like
reindeer on it.
Yeah, like a shittily knitted Norwegian sweater, Candlemas, and like a sour beer, like those things.
Candlemas sweater, a homemade knitted Candlemas, kind of like how Jay Mastis' mom used to make him the
deep wound sweater.
Yeah.
Or like a sour beer and a porter or stout, like. Those 2 beers, something Norwegian and something Candlemas. Yeah, that I'm done. I'm like, I'm entranced. You can't get me away.
You would be wedged.
Yeah.
Yes, I would be bewitched.
Nice.
I think for me, an old book and like by someone dead and gummy lobsters.
Really like expansive list of options, but okay.
An old book by somebody dead, and what's the other one?
And a bag of gummy lobsters.
Okay, sweet.
Gummy lobsters.
I want gummy candies now, really bad.
I've got some vegan fruity chews or something. They're really good though, despite being vegan.
I want them enough to risk contagion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I risked my life for gummy lobsters.
I mean, I may just Amazon it. Just wait a couple days and be like, why did I order this tub of Sour Patch Kids? It's not even like a drunk buy. It's like I've been drinking seltzers throughout this whole thing. It's just like, yeah, I just got impulse to buy gummies.
I mean, it's just the haze of this D&D group. It just really overtakes you.
Yeah.
Melissa, Amazon bought like 8 boxes of gluten-free pancake mix that came in the mail the other day. We were just
My God. Nice.
All right. Hell yeah.
Nice.
We have pancakes. It's great.
I bought one last thing, and I don't know why I'm going to leave on this note, but I bought like 6 bottles of SodaStream cola mix.
Right on.
I got a SodaStream and I love it. And
dude, SodaStream, I do too. I love it. I don't have my bottle next to me, but
stuff.
that's
Good
yeah,
stuff.
Absolutely. Give me all the bubbles.
I need
I should be taking advantage of having this to be more healthy and like drink more water, but I found that you can make like really good cola. And that's all I've been drinking. Like, and like, this is like RC. It's great. I'm like, I never drink sugared cola. Like, why am I doing this to my body? It's fucking delicious. It's so
I mean,
good.
yeah, like I use it just for seltzer water, and I'll make either plain or throw lime juice in it. But it's really good for cocktails because I like bubbly cocktails. So I'll just make like seltzer and pour it in there. It's great. Love it.
Right on. Well, all right. Well, we're gonna kick it. I'm gonna head back up and put the Tasmanian.
Y'all.
4 times.
All right. It was great.
See you on down the trail.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Good to see you.
All right. We'll do it again, baby. Bye.